Who's going to be number one? Will it be DC again? Or will Marvel flex their way into the top spot? Let's find out. Hello Comic Army, my name is Chris the Comic Vet. I hope this video finds you safe and well. Welcome back to the top 10 highest selling graded comic books for this week on eBay for the week ending February 15th, 2024. Last week we had Flash own the top spot. Let's find out if DC can hold that reign. I gotta admit, Marvel's gonna flex all over this top 10 list. However, there's gonna be some DC Golden Age, some other Golden Age, some Silver Age, and some Copper to be tossed in on top of it all. I promise you're going to enjoy this list. Let's go. Number 10. It's a Spectacular Spider-Man #1 from 1968. The CGC 9.8 magazine style comic book sold on February 13th. It realized $5,500. Number 9. It's Detective Comics issue 32. This Golden Age classic sold February 11th and a signature series CGC 2.0. This book is signed by legendary creator Jerry Robinson, and it's actually from the Jerry Robinson collection. This book is noteworthy as Batman uses a gun, becoming the first superhero to ever use a gun in comics. This book sold for $5,600.78. We have a tie for number 8. First up, it's The Amazing Spider-Man issue 14. On February 13th, the CGC 7.5 sold. It features the first appearance of the Green Goblin and the first time the Incredible Hulk and the Amazing Spider-Man ever met. This book sold for $5,999. The second book in the 8 spot belongs to The Incredible Hulk 180. On February 14th, this book sold in a CGC 9.6. It is, of course, famous for being the first cameo of Wolverine and a Wendigo appearance. This book sold for $5,999. Number 6. It's The Tomb of Dracula, issue number 10. On February 11th, this very nice CGC 9.6 sold. It features the first appearance of Blade, the vampire hunter. It sold for $6,600. Before we continue with number 5, please make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed and get a comment ready. Which book really impressed you by being on this list? And if you're interested in becoming a channel member, there are now 2 tiers for you to select from. Number 5. For the second straight week, we have another EC Comics Golden Age classic. Crime Suspense Stories number 22 sold February 13th and a very nice CGC 3.5. This book features, of course, that classic horror cover. It sold for $7,100. Number 4. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 1. On February 14th, the CGC Restored Grade 8.0 sold. It is, of course, famous for being the first appearance of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Splinter, and, of course, Shredder. This book sold for $1 more than the 5th spot at $7,101. Number 3. It's The Amazing Spider-Man issue 33. On February 13th, this book sold in an incredible CGC 9.8. This book, of course, features that classic Steve Ditko cover, and it actually is one of the books that was written by both Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. This book realized $9,999.99. A steal, if you ask me. Number 2. X-Men number 1. On February 11th, the CGC 4.5 finally sold. It is, of course, the first appearance of the X-Men, Professor X and Magneto. This Marvel classic sold for $10,211. Number 1. It's Amazing Fantasy 15. On February 15th, the CGC 1.5 found a new owner. It is, of course, famous for the first appearance of the Amazing Spider-Man, Uncle Ben, and Aunt May. This crown jewel to any Spider-Man collection sold for $13,000. Well, there you go, Comic Army. Amazing Fantasy 15 owning the top spot once again. But I gotta admit, that Amazing Spider-Man 33 that just went for under $10,000 in a 9.8, I really think that it went for less than value. Whoever clicked that buy it now really got themselves a good deal. What say you? Leave a comment. I'm curious to see what you think. Make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you're interested in becoming a channel member, like I mentioned earlier, there are now 2 tiers for you to select from. Until we see you again, thank you so much for your time, and take care.